wink is the only thing that she used to do. To do that on points of view as well. And she's sort of trying to say that she's in some way being consistent. Wow. In points of view, she didn't read out the people's letters and then just say, you know, f*** off. But she does to the answers of the nice people on the weakest link who are trying to win a quiz. So what was the Anne Robinson one called?
Ginger Ice Queen.
Ginger ice cream's really nice.
It's gonna taste of ginger, not of that bitch. Ginger is a recognised pleasant flavour. She's a recognised arsehole. You know, that's totally different. It's just people who like ginger enough to be able to stomach the side of her face while they eat it. I can believe that those people exist. So that's become a lot more plausible. Suddenly you're saying that ice cream, the flavour of a woman who's undergone loads of surgery, is obsessed with money, and for some reason considers herself witty. No. Ginger ice cream with a picture of that bitch. Yes. George and Zippy have one up.
Hello and welcome to EveryLeagueTalk. So tonight we're going to start with transfer news, transfers from Chelsea's past window. Since I'm a Chelsea supporter, we can start with that and then talk about Arsenal, Everton, any club that you support. We can definitely talk about transfers. Chelsea's past window. Since I'm Chelsea supporter, we start with that. Arsenal, Everton. Okay, so excuse me, got a bit of a cold. All right, so Chelsea's window so far has been pretty decent. I think we slightly overpaid for Morata, but that's the market. Obviously, Lukaku going for so much money is gonna add to that. All right, hold on just one second here. Okay, so yeah, Morata, decent signing, not the greatest, not the worst. Definitely there's a little bit to be desired as far as finishing with his feet goes. He's pretty decent, but he's not amazing. His head, he's incredibly good with his head. I watched the Spain-Italy game, came on, made a huge impact in that game. His pace isn't as good as it quite needs. I would like it to be for a Chelsea striker, but neither was Diego Costa's, so it's not that big of a deal. But it's more of his touch is okay. He just needs to be a little bit quicker. Like, for instance, Isco slotted him through in the Spain-Italy game. He had perfect, like, all he had to do was run onto it. He took a really heavy touch, and it allowed, I think it was Barzagli, I believe, who caught up to him and just took the ball from him. So it didn't have the greatest of moments there, but he's been pretty good for us so far. Had one really good game, one game, and then another decent game. He just needs to get up to full fitness so he can play 90 minutes every time. So the next one, Bakayoko. I love Bakayoko. I think he's a really good player. The only problem is, as much as I think it was time for Matic to move on, selling him to Man U just makes my head explode almost, because that was such a stupid idea. Why would you sell Jose Mourinho's star players during his regime to Jose Mourinho when he's already got players like Rashford and like Lukaku? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm not a Chelsea board member, so they have our best interest at heart, supposedly. So that's fun. But yeah, I think Matic was a terrible transfer. He should have moved to Juventus or something. They bought Matuidi, for crying out loud. Matic is a bit younger, and I think he would fit in at Juventus side, but he's with Man U, so yeah, Bakayoko. I think he links up better with Kante. The French connection, obviously. I think he's just a little bit young to be an everyday player for us, but he's done okay so far. He's probably right now he's our best player, easily. Then we got Alonso now. So I do have some questions about, I love Davide Zappacosta. I think he played really well for Torino as a right back. I think, Victor Moses is incredibly inconsistent, but he has this ability to score goals since he started off as a forward. And I don't know if Zappacosta is going to add the same amount of attacking flair going forward. And we got Alonso for that, so we don't necessarily need it. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how Antonio Conte uses him. Then, who's next? Rudiger. Rudiger's okay. I didn't think he was needed to make, so I'm not too sold on him. He's okay. I think he's a young prospect. He's a German international, so that's always good. I just think he leaves a little bit to be desired as far as a top quality center back. And I think, I don't know if Zuma was at full fitness, but I don't know, spend 30 mil on Yeah, 31.5 on Rudiger is like, he's good, but is he that good? It's a lot of money to spend on someone that hasn't even played yet. Then Drinkwater. Drinkwater, he's like my guilty pleasure. Obviously, bringing back the Leicester midfield that won them the Premier League, decent. Such a hit and miss player though, which I mean you can argue that almost any player in any league is just hit and miss, especially for Chelsea. But I think he'll be a good addition. I think he'll be much better than a lot of people are going to give him credit for. Like I said, linking up with Conte and having better players around him, even then he had that Leicester, I think is really, really solid. I don't know how flashy he's going to be, but that's okay for me. He just needs to get in there and do the dirty work. But I feel like he offers almost the same role as N'Golo Kante as far as he's going to run and win back the ball and not necessarily be a ball-playing midfielder. It just depends on sort of how he reacts to the Premier League and how he is able to sort of looking for. How he's able to respond. I mean, he's obviously played in the Premier League. He's already won the Premier League. But how he's able to rise to the level of Chelsea. That, I mean, Leicester's a good club, but I don't think they're on the same level as Chelsea. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that. So yeah, that's the Chelsea transfer window. It was a bit disappointing when we were, linked with Alexandro, and I never thought that was going to happen. I'm pretty happy it didn't happen because I like Marcos Alonso. I think he's a really good left back. So I didn't really want to replace him. But it would have been nice to get some more depth. But, we still got Diego Costa as of now, but that can go anywhere. So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out. And the next team we'll talk about is Man City. Okay, so Manchester City, they're an interesting team. They've excuse me. Okay, so they signed Benjamin Mendy, which hasn't played a minute yet. So once he gets up to peak fitness, I think he'll be good. I don't know how good he's going to be, but he'll be decent at least. Kyle Walker hasn't been that good, and maybe he's just adjusting to a new system. That's entirely possible. I don't know if it was kind of an overspend, and especially, I know everyone buys from each other. Obviously, we sold Matic to Menu, so it's rivals all the time. But to buy someone for 50 mil from Tottenham, that it's he was key for Tottenham. Don't get me wrong; he was phenomenal for Tottenham. But when you've got players like De Bruyne, like David Silva, these really creative players, what Kyle Walker offers as a wingback is that he is rapid. He just runs past hopefully the other back and is able to whip crosses into the box. When you've got players like David Silva, like Bernardo Silva, who has barely played, Kevin De Bruyne, all of these really creative players, why do you need Kyle Walker to whip crosses in? Why would you be crossing the ball that much? It just doesn't make much sense to me. Now, Danilo, wow, what a signing he's been. He did not fit in at Real Madrid. They didn't play his style. But with Man City, they play his style. Honestly, when Mendy comes back, I wouldn't be surprised to see Danilo starting over Walker. He's been so much more creative and more attacking than Walker has. And that's just because of the style that he plays. He's got that Brazilian flair, which is exactly what Pep Guardiola wants in his side. I think for Man City, Bernardo Silva, phenomenal signing. really going to be good for them if he gets his chance, which so far he's kind of gotten. See, Man City are stuck between so many different ideas right now. I think they want to play guys like Fernandinho and Fernando, which are really good midfielders that are run all day for you. But they want to play them both at the same time, and I just don't know if that's taking away from their ability to attack. Like with Everton, when they played against Everton and drew, it was a really good game. But they really, once they brought on Sterling, he added something. He doesn't quite have the finishing capabilities that he needs to have. Elite player. I mean, he got the goal, but it kind of luckily fell to him, and it was a good finish, don't get me wrong, but it just kind of was lucky. They much more needed to take the game to Everton instead of letting Everton take it to them. And they did in the second half. They really took charge of the game. But it was... See, neither side really created that much. And while, yes, there are concerns in the defense for Man City, they're really strengthened. And I don't understand quite why they're having such an issue attacking this season. I don't know if teams are just figuring them out or they're not playing what Pep wants them to play. It's just not really working out. And I honestly thought that they would probably win the Premier League this year. Honestly, I thought they made enough signings and in the right places to win it. But they just haven't connected as a team, and they're not playing the best style, I don't think. They're so concerned about defense that they're leaving these two defensive midfielders on the pitch, which is fine. But it's really not allowing space for De Bruyne and Silva to work in the best way that they can. I want to squash those two's creative ability, and Aguero can finish pretty much anything that you put on a plate for him as long as it's not in a final for Argentina. But Aguero, he's a very, very good finisher. Gabriel Jesus, he's such a flashy player. I don't know quite whether he fits exactly what they need him to do. I would much rather play probably Leroy Sané on the left, have him do what he does, run, just constantly run. Gives you a second option instead of just playing tiki-taka. But have Bernardo Silva on the right, play more of a winger position. Aguero up top, and David Silva. If you want to play Fernandinho and Fernando, go ahead. Then you got the back five that City like to play. That works fine. Leave John Stones as more of like a sweeper instead of just a center back. Let him play the ball because that's what he's good at. It's the only thing he's good at. As of right now, he's young. Give him a chance to grow. But play that, and then you have Bernardo Silva creating things out on the wing, or even put David Silva out there. Put Bernardo Silva in the middle. It doesn't really matter. Those two are kind of interchangeable, which their last names are both Silva, so that kind of works. But it just adds another dimension to the City team that I think is really not lackluster, but it's not there right now. They don't have that penetration that they need to have. And I don't think Walker running down the wing, crossing it into the box is what they need. So that's my opinion on City. I think they're good. I don't think they're that good. I think they'll do more in the Champions League than they will in the Premier League this season, which is strange, but I don't know what it is. They're deeper now, but they're not there. They're not quite there to win the Premier League. Now, on the flip side of that, Man U, they look phenomenal. They got Lindelof, which I am a huge fan of. He hasn't really played that well, but I really like Lindelof. Lukaku, which I don't... He's finished chances, so obviously he's very, very good. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's 75 million worth, which with add-ons about 90 million. I don't think he's that good, but he's good. And he scored for them so far. He really works with the Mourinho system, which is amazing why Mourinho let him go out on loan when he was at Chelsea. I don't know. Mourinho screwed us over so much, even though he's probably our best manager. But yeah, so anyway, that that connection with Pogba. He's playing so much better this season now that he's freed up because Matic is doing all the dirty work that Pogba was doing last season. He's much more reliable than Fellaini in that midfield as well. So Mourinho's got the team. He's got the team. It's the second season. It's going to be so hard to catch up to Man U. I think right now their confidence is so high that if they continue to go like this, they'll have a good season. But as soon as they lose a game, if they're not careful, they will collapse. And the team that I think is sneaking right up behind them is Liverpool. I honestly think that Liverpool are going to be the Spurs of the past couple seasons. I think Spurs are good. I don't know what it is this season. They just don't seem as cutthroat as they were last season. Which it is what it is. I think yeah, it's a great signing though. But Liverpool with Salah, with Oxlade-Chamberlain they just brought in, just for rotation for bench purposes, I think he's good. Lallana, Firmino stepped up this season. Firmino looks like a top quality player, which is what Liverpool have needed from him for a couple seasons now. He's really good. He was good last season, but this season, watching him play, he looks so much more confident with that number 9 shirt. He looks so much more fluid with his motions, knowing that Salah's out there. Mane, what a player Sadio Mane is, by the way. Incredible. He works so hard for that team. Pulls people out of position all the time. Another Southampton prospect that they're just kind of stolen. Once Lallana gets back to full fitness and replaces Chan, they're going to be even better. Liverpool are an incredible team. They've done some amazing work. Naby Keita going to be coming in next season. What a player Naby Keita is. He's going to add so much more to that midfield as well. They're going to be really good next season as well. Klopp has them playing football. I think Liverpool are their team to watch this year. I think they're kind of, now that they've started off so well, beating Arsenal 4-0, which Arsenal didn't really play that well, but Liverpool was sensational. They've started off what they needed to. They've kind of snuck under people's radars, and I think they're going to come up and really play well. That draw at Watford, Marco Silva is an incredible manager. People do not give that guy enough credit at all. He barely missed Hull surviving, and they had a horrific start. So the fact that he was able to almost save them is incredible. They look really good. And I'll tell you, the 3 teams that I think need to either fire their manager or they're done is Crystal Palace, West Ham, and it's on the tip of my tongue. So Crystal Palace for sure, because the worst system is I don't even know what to say. Benteke is not a good enough striker to be the focal point. Doesn't finish enough chances to be that focal point. When you're playing the ball in and out, you've got to have somebody who can just, at a moment's notice, just boom, finish it. Benteke is not that player. He needs to have long balls played over. He needs to use his strength more than he needs to hold up the ball. They don't have enough pieces around but they don't have enough pieces around those two to really make chances happen. So they need to get rid of De Boer immediately because the system just isn't working. Keeps sticking with it. The second team, West Ham. Holy cow, they need to get rid of Village. Oh my word. What? I don't even know what happened at West Ham. They've got Chicharito. They've got Arnautovic. Now, granted, Arnautovic is a freaking nut. When he's not playing great, he completely loses it. So he's a liability. They picked up some decent players. I don't understand why they're having such an issue. I don't think Village is nearly as tactically sound as he needs to be for West Ham. I think his defending is horrific. Oh, Lord. They're bad. I think that they try to play sort of attacking. I think that some of the transfers that he made were actually really smart. They haven't worked out because of the style that he plays and because he's not as tactically aware as a lot of other managers. So West Ham are in a lot of trouble unless they sack Village, which I think they're probably going to be the first one out the door. They've lost like every game by at least 3. It's ridiculous. Yeah, they've not been good at all. Neither is Crystal Palace. Newcastle beat them 3-0, which is just, if Newcastle beats you 3-0, come on, you're not very good. So I think those two are going down unless they change their managers. I think Crystal Palace might go down even if they change their manager, which is sad. I like Palace. I think they're a good team. It's cool to see them in the Premier League for consistently in the Premier League after so long outside of it. I think that Brighton will be the other team that goes down. I think they have a lot of heart, and they made some phenomenal signings. Like David Proper, incredible signing. They got Matt Ryan from Valencia. I think even though he wasn't great in Valencia, I think he'll be good for them. He's been solid so far. A number of other signings. I think they're good. Nakar is amazing. I'm glad he gets his chance in the Premier League again. They just are missing. I don't know what it is. They're missing something. You know what they're missing? They're missing a top-class striker. That's what they're missing. They're missing an instinctual finisher. This is the same thing that Crystal Palace is missing. If you look at it, teams that go down, unless you're Sunderland, which you're completely garbage, even though Defoe's a good striker, teams that go down do not have the instinctual finisher that teams that don't have. See, for instance, Middlesbrough had a really good finisher in Negredo, but only when he wanted to be. He wasn't consistent enough for that team. That's why they were the lowest scoring team in the league. Who else? Sunderland, they had Defoe, they were just garbage. See, Palace, with Benteke, like I said, he's just not quite good enough to be the best, to finish chances that much. He was good for Aston Villa because they put everything through him. He was good under Allardyce because they put everything through him. When other people are making options happen, he's just not that good. Third, Brighton. Okay. The team that does have a striker that Brighton don't have is Huddersfield with Moe. Moe has started like a house on fire for Huddersfield, and while that might not last, he has something that neither of the strikers at Brighton have. They're good, but they're not good enough to just make something out of nothing like Moe can. I think Huddersfield are going to be safe because of Moe specifically. They've done some decent business as well. And I think Brighton with Izquierdo, good signing, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite enough. He's not the finisher that they need. And it's so hard to get, as a promoted side, to get a finisher that's going to put away chances constantly. It's just not something that's easy to do. So I think it's going to be Crystal Palace will for sure get relegated. Brighton will probably get relegated. I don't think West Ham are going to get relegated. I think they've got too much talent to get relegated, which that's where I don't know. I'm afraid. I think Bournemouth will be okay, but I'm kind of afraid because I really like Bournemouth. I think they're a good team. I think they just need some more pieces. I think Eddie Howe, I'm glad he sticks with Bournemouth, but he needs a chance at a bigger club. Marco Silva is a phenomenal manager, and Watford should be fine. Leicester started really well. See, I'll pull up the league table now. Okay. I don't think that Burnley have done enough. They sold Andre Gray. They brought in Walters, which is a good signing, but they sold Andre Gray to Watford. Andre Gray was really good for them last year. I don't think they have enough up top to really stay in the league. I think they're going to be a situation like Middlesbrough, where they don't give up a lot of goals, but they don't score like any, which is a problem. I know they beat Chelsea first day, so who am I to say? But Sam Vokes up top just isn't enough. It's just not enough for me to see them staying up. Like I said, I think they're good. I honestly think they're a pretty solid team, but they're not. They don't have that it factor. So I think it'll be Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Burnley go down this season. I see Huddersfield staying up another season, but if they sell Nui, they're down. I don't think they will because they know how important he is to them. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Arsenal. Ooh, Arsenal. What a transfer window it's been, right, guys? Of course, they, you guys did get Lacazette. Pretty good signing. Kolasinac on a free. Pretty good. And who else? Oh, you guys got... Oh, no, you didn't get Lamar. Oh. So Lamar doesn't want to play for Arsenal. Honestly, the club right now is in a shambles. It's so horrific for Arsenal. It just plainly isn't good enough. The fans want more. Wenger's done a lot for him. And I think the board's holding him back more than anything, so I don't think it's going to even change that much if they get rid of him. But I think they're going to play a different style, which they need to play right now. I don't know. Starting with Bellerin at left back, when arguably you're one of your best players through the first couple games, is there. Putting him on the bench and starting Bellerin at left back. What? Like, what? Why? Why would you do that? With Welbeck up top instead of Lacazette. What? Danny Welbeck's okay. He hasn't done it for Arsenal. He's really good for England, but he hasn't done it for Arsenal. So, I don't know if you want to give him a chance. You're just trying to increase his confidence. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if it was a board thing. They decided to do this. I don't know. But you cannot spend $50 million on Lacazette and then leave him on the bench for arguably one of your more important games of the season. You lost to Stoke. Unlucky, right? He didn't play that well. He didn't really deserve to win, but it was unlucky. Hesse could finish, whatever. It's water in the bridge. You want to get back on track against Liverpool, at least play him to a draw or play him close. No, you start with Welbeck at top. And then you start with Bellerin at left back. Do you want to just go in and lose? Not badly. It was such a horrible performance all around, but I don't know if you're... Because Chamberlain's pretty pacey. Oxlade, he's okay. His heart wasn't in it, which you clearly saw, but I guess if you're trying to match pace for pace with Salah and Mane, maybe I could see an argument where you put Bellerin and Chamberlain in there. Bellerin at right back and Chamberlain at left back. Like, why is that? Why'd you put Bellerin at left back? Did you want him to go head to head with Mane? Because he got destroyed. Like, I don't understand that at all. Because Salah and Mane are interchangeable anyway. So either way you go, you're gonna have to play somebody really good. So I don't understand that at all. And it's just, why didn't you sell Sanchez? Like, what was the point of keeping him? You're not going to convince him to keep playing for Arsenal. It's not going to happen. He wants to leave for good reason as well. You guys should be doing so much better. Let's Sanchez. Ramsey on his day is really good. Xhaka's been decent. You got Lacazette. You got Kolasinac, who was the best left back in the Bundesliga last year. Like, why did you keep Sanchez when you could have even put him as make weight in a deal? Like what? Sell him to PSG for 50 million, pick up Draxler. Like move Oxlade out wide. Like what? I don't understand the thinking behind forcing Sanchez to stay. And now you're gonna get no money for him. You can maybe sell him on in January before he signs a contract. Probably not gonna happen, but maybe there's a chance. I don't know if that's what they were thinking. I don't know if they want to torture Sanchez. Like the dude doesn't want to be there, and yeah, it's kind of a jerk move to just completely not play well. It's kind of spineless, but still, he's done a lot for Arsenal. He's done a real lot. He's stuck with them through a lot. You want him to leave, let him go to City. I understand not wanting to strengthen your rivals, so maybe selling him to, why not sell him to Paris then? PSG were interested in him. Why not just sell him for 50 mil to Paris? It's 50 mil more than you're going to get by just letting him go to free to Paris. Like, come on. What are you thinking? It doesn't make any sense. So that's the Sanchez rant over. Arsenal, they finish 7th. I think Everton will take their spot. I know, bold prediction. Everyone's predicting 7th now. But yeah, I can just, Everton have made better signings. They play better as a team. Wayne Rooney started like a house on fire. If he can stop driving, that would be nice. But they've been better so far. And I can't see it getting any better for Arsenal when your should be your best 2 players don't care. Otza and Sanchez. They don't care. So how in the world do you expect any of your other players to care when their 2 talismans don't care? It's such a mess at Arsenal that Wenger has created himself by, one summer not signing a single outfield player. They signed Czech. Oh, good for you. Like, that was it. Petr Cech, not a single outfield player. No other club in Europe did that summer. Yeah, they signed, I think it was Elneny in January. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Elneny's good, don't get me wrong, but, come on. This is so crazy. The transfer business in Arsenal has been just horrific. I don't understand why. I understand the club want to make money. They want to run it like a business instead of a football club, whatever. That's fine, that's your own prerogative if you own the club. But they have millions. They make 2.5 million every single match day? That's insane. Why do you need more than that? But whatever. I'm not an Arsenal supporter, so I don't really care. It's kind of nice seeing Arsenal fans suffer, but because they don't deserve to be in this predicament. You got Spurs, which Spurs, I think they're going to go further in the Champions League again than they do in the Premier League. I think Spurs are going to finish 5th this year. It's crazy because they're very solid, and it could very well be that Chelsea finish 5th. But I think that Conte has enough experience to keep us in the Champions League. I don't think we're going to do very much in the Champions League this year, just because Conte has not had a history of doing well in the Champions League, and we haven't been good in the Champions League for a couple seasons now. Well, obviously last year. But yeah, Spurs don't. I don't know what it is. Man U got so much better. City got better. But I think if they don't turn it around soon, it could be City that finish 5th. They seem to be right now kind of the Arsenal of the past couple of years. Except obviously Arsenal still finished 4th. But I think everybody else has gotten so much better, and City spent so much money, they should be better than they are right now. I don't know what it is, but they're just not there yet. I think they will get there, which is why I think that Tottenham is going to finish 5th. But I think it'll be between Manchester City and Tottenham to see who finishes 4th and 5th. And if City finish 5th and don't win the Champions League, you got to say Guardiola's gone. I mean, that would be a total failure after spending, what was it, 200 million in the summer? That'd be crazy to not finish in a Champions League spot at least. They're expecting the league top 2. But the way that they started, I don't even know if they're going to get 4th. So that's obviously it's early on in the season. A lot of things can change, but they just haven't wanted it. They've been like the Arsenal for a couple of years. Like I said, they've been good, but they haven't had that killer instinct that they needed to in order to challenge for things. Excuse me. So yeah, that's Spurs and City. Man U look like the best team in the league. It'll be really hard for Man U to not win. They'll be good. Obviously, they're already good, but they'll be up there. I think Watford, will overtake Southampton as the sort of team that's just behind the big clubs. So for the past couple of seasons, it's been Southampton, West Ham that have been kind of in that middle tier, second tier. Well, Everton, of course, too. Except Everton, I would argue, were below them, below those 3 clubs before last season. Last season under Koeman, they stepped it up. So I think it'll be Watford, Everton taking over that spot. I think Everton move into that conversation as being even better than Arsenal, like I think they will be. But they move up that position. So it'll be Watford, Southampton, and West Brom. West Brom will always perpetually finish mid-table. Stoke have moved down, in my opinion. I don't think they're nearly as good as West Brom, even. But I like the manager. I like Marco Silva a lot more than I like Maurizio Pellegrino for Southampton. Joel that much, but Pellegrino, he's decent, but he hasn't made enough of a change to move up that group. Watford signings have been really, really good, and I think quite underrated. Let me pull up their business. Give me a sec. Okay. So, let me currencies and transfers. Okay, so here's the signings they made. They've got Andre Gray from Burnley, who, like I said, was really good for them. I think he'll be just fine for Watford this season. They've got Tom Cleverley from Everton, which he played last season. He's okay. He's not the biggest sign in the world, but they got him for cheap, so it doesn't really matter. Will Hughes from Derby, which finally he gets his chance in the Premier League. I think he's good. I think it'll be solid for him. A decent bit of business, also pretty cheap. Then they've got Chalobah from Chelsea. What a signing, Chalobah. I'm very sad that he didn't get a chance because Chalobah is really good. Watford got a steal there with him. Then they got Marvin Ziegler from Sporting. He's decent, good enough left back. I think he'll do okay in the Premier League. He's done okay so far. Andre Carrillo from Benfica on loan. Really good signing. He's quite a good player. He just needs a chance, and I think he'll get that with Watford, especially under Marco Silva. Kiko Femina. That's a really good signing. That is an underrated signing. Kiko Femina, fantastic player. I think Watford really cleaned up with that. That was a wonderful signing. Bachmann, okay. Carnezis from Udinese. He's a decent keeper. He's good. He's a good keeper. Obviously, he's on loans. He's not going to be there all the time, just with Carrillo. But I think those are really good signings. Watford had a really decent window that I think has gone underappreciated a lot. A lot of people talking about Man U's window, obviously. Chelsea, we have had a decent window. We haven't had the best. Man City's window, a lot of people talking about. Arsenal's window, infamously people talking about. I think Watford have had one of the better windows in the Premier League. I think they've done well with the business that they brought in, and yeah, they've just been solid, which is exactly what you need. Which is why I think they're going to overtake Southampton. And Marco Silva is a good manager. He's just a very, very solid manager that, like I said, almost kept Hull up and made some incredible signings for Hull. Like the players that Hull got last year because Marco Silva was there, insane. Like Ranocchia, which arguably it wasn't very good for him, but still, a player from Inter Milan coming to Hull is just crazy. Just things like that. Getting Carrillo, getting Kiko Firmino, which a lot of big clubs were after. Getting who was Carnezis on loan, decent. Aurelio Gomez is a really good keeper, so I don't exactly need him. Chalobah from Chelsea, really good signing. Just all of these pieces, I think, will fit in really well for Watford, and I think they're going to overtake Southampton. That being said, Mario Lemina is a really good signing. Manolo Gabbiadini, phenomenal signing. I know that was last January, but wow, what a player he's been for. Southampton have a lot of really good players. They just needed more depth, which I don't think they did enough in the transfer window. James Ward-Prowse getting a chance is really good. I think he's a phenomenal young player. Just not enough for me to surpass Watford. They don't have enough. I don't know what it is. They don't have enough depth. That's what it is. They don't have enough depth that Watford does. That they've made, especially in midfield. Made a lot of good signings. They just sent Jordi Clasie on loan, which I don't know why you would send Jordi Clasie on loan. He's good enough. He's a solid player. He doesn't really need to go on loan. He's not going to learn anything. I don't know. It just seems like a weird signing. Very weird. Joyce to loan him out. West Brom, also another incredibly underrated transfer window, is West Brom. It's all the W's. Let's see here. Tony Pulis, for having such a reputation of being a kind of boring manager, which, to be fair, he is. He's done some really good business. All right, give me just a sec here. Okay, so you got Oliver Burke from Leipzig. Sorry, brain fart there. Oliver Burke from Leipzig, good, promising Scottish midfielder, rapid player, really quick. I don't know if he's going to fit into the Pulis style, but he's a good signing. He just is. They've got Jay Rodriguez from Southampton, who honestly was one of Southampton's more underrated players. Why Liverpool didn't come in for him surprises me. I think he's gonna do well for West Brom. Kieran Gibbs for $7 million. Oh my goodness, what a signing that is! Kieran Gibbs, yeah, he's getting up there. He's 27. He's in the prime of his career now. But the fact that they got him for $7 million is incredible. And then getting Krychowiak on loan from PSG, another great move. That surprised me when I saw that they got Krychowiak. Just incredible. Gareth Barry, he's going to be an experienced head, and they're just doing well. They're doing exactly what they need to be doing right now. I hope they don't fall off a cliff like they did last season. But they're doing well. So yeah, that's West Brom. Stoke, yeah. We got Shaqiri. Shaqiri, when he wants to be, is a phenomenal player. Key when he wants to be. They've done some decent transfer business. I don't know. Stoke are just kind of a team that should be so much better than they are. They got players like Boyan, Shaqiri, Kovacic. They got Hesse now, who's slotted in. He felt like love in that Stoke system, which is really good. But these players should be world beaters, and they're playing for Stoke. That's the sort of thing. I admire what Marcuse is doing by bringing in these so-called rejects from Bayern Munich, from Barcelona, from Real Madrid. He's building something there. They shouldn't be playing for Stoke. These are players that have let themselves down phenomenally. Hesse was quite good for Real Madrid, honestly. He didn't really get a chance. But then he went to PSG and it fell off a cliff in a much easier league. It didn't make sense to me. Shaqiri was okay. He's been amazing for Switzerland. Why he can't transfer that into a club, I don't understand. Boyan, for a while, Boyan was an incredibly promising player. Now he's just kind of really hit and miss. And he went on loan last year. It's just these players should be playing to much higher of a standard, and I don't think that's Marcuse's fault. I think Marcuse has done an incredible job of building a squad. I think he's tactically okay. I don't think he's that bad of a manager. I just think that the players that he's picked, whether he's chosen them or whatever has been had them thrust upon him, not consistent enough. They haven't been good enough. And Stoke should be a team that's much higher. They should be pushing like Everton, but they just haven't done anything. It's just sad to see such a promising talent just go to waste just because they don't want to play. So yeah, that's Stoke. The fact that they still have Peter Crouch and they hang on to these strikers is just I don't know. It's mind-boggling. So that's Stoke. Then let's think your next team. Swansea. Roque Mesa, incredible signing. Wilfred Boney will be decent again. Selling Llorente was a good decision. Selling Sigurdsson for that much, good decision. Paul Clement as a manager, good. Who else did I get? Give me a sec here. They've got some really decent players, actually. They've had a very good transfer window, in my opinion, as well. They're another team that's kind of gone underrated as far as. Okay, here we go. All right, hold on just a sec here. Okay, so Sam Klukas was a bit expensive, but he's a decent player. From Hull, he's got good promise. He's 26, but he's decent. Wilfred Boney's a good signing. Get him back. Roque Mesa, like I said, was an incredible signing. Renato Sanchez, that's who it was. Renato Sanchez, phenomenal signing. On loan from Bayern Munich. Renato, I think, will run that midfield in Swansea. I think him and Mesa linking up will be amazing. I think he'll fill that sort of, not Gylfi Sigurdsson, he's not quite that attacking, but he'll run and make plays. And that's exactly what Swansea need. They need a playmaker to take games by the scruff of the neck and really make a play. Boney will finish if Sanchez can get him the ball. So those two linking up will be really, really good, I think, for Swansea, which is why I think they're going to stay up. I think if they didn't get, even if they got Boney, if they didn't get Renato Sanchez, I couldn't quite see them staying up. It would be really close between them and Burnley. It'd be really close between them because I think Burnley is much more solid unit. So I think Burnley would have the edge there. But now that they've got Boney and Sanchez and they just seem to stay in the Premier League, I think that they're going to stay up. Which it might not happen, but that's what I think's going to happen. And then next team, let's look at Leicester. Have started off good. They've made a good signing in Apora. They've done pretty well in the transfer window. Huddersfield already talked about. Brighton already talked about. Bournemouth. See, I'm really worried about Bournemouth too. Bournemouth have lost all 3 games that they played. Played some good teams. Defoe up top. Begovic was a good signing. Defoe. I don't know. It's kind of a wash up. They got Ake, which is a good signing. I don't know about Bournemouth. They're okay. It's gonna be really tight between them, Swansea and Burnley, to see who goes down. I think Crystal Palace and Brighton are down right now. I honestly think they're gonna go down. So Bournemouth and Burnley is gonna be really tight between those teams. So yeah, that's the Premier League. So that was a good chat. Let's check out the Bundesliga. Just quickly, I'll hit the top teams, I think, for them. Who's going to be the top teams at the end of the season. And there, okay. So, finishing in the top spot with lots of pressure, Bayern Munich. What a surprise. Bayern have done enough to secure another Bundesliga title. They have not done enough. I will caveat this with saying, if Bayern goes super far in the Champions League, Dortmund will be breathing down their neck. Dortmund have gotten so much better this year. Pulisic is on another level right now. Nuri Sahin, if he can continue to have these performances, wonderful. Dortmund are a very good team. They got Maximilian Philipp. They got Mahmoud Dahoud. Like, these are very promising young players they've just brought into their squad. Phenomenal. Let's try to think here. Yeah, Dortmund will be right up there. Schalke fell apart last game. I don't know what happened to Schalke. They really, really did not do well against Hanover. Yeah, Hanover. They just, Hanover were solid, but Schalke were not good enough, even though they really beat Leipzig very well, which makes me think that Schalke will be kind of mid-table. This year, I think they're going to be better than they were last year for sure. I think Leipzig will, again, well, after this season, the Champions League spots go down to 3 for Germany, as Italy has surpassed them. Excuse me. Yeah, so Schalke, I think, is going to be mid-table, right along with Bayer Leverkusen, which Leverkusen have so much disappointed me these past couple of seasons. They have such a promising team, just to throw it all away and not be very good, not respect their manager. It just disappoints me. Cologne are going to be in a lot of trouble. They lost Modeste. They lost their main point of attack. Cordoba is not good enough. I'm going to tell you that right now. He is not good enough to replace Anthony Modeste. So Cologne will struggle this season. They're already struggling, but man, will they hurt. Werder Bremen, another situation. They've lost Gnabry, and they didn't get him on a loan deal back, so they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Freiburg, it's hard for me to say that Freiburg are going to do well or not. Wolfsburg are going to struggle again. They're another team that should be so much better, but they're going to struggle. Mainz, I think, is going to go down. I can't see Cologne getting relegated, but they very well might. Augsburg, so I think it's going to be Mainz, Augsburg, and Wolfsburg as the bottom 3. Wolfsburg on top, going to the relegation playoff, probably win that, stay in the league. Maybe Hanover started really well. They've been decently solid. They might be dragged into that. Stuttgart, another team that might be dragged into that. What am I thinking of here? Give me just a second. Who else got promoted? Oh yeah, sorry, Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg won the playoffs, so that's who else got promoted. Okay, Hertha Berlin will not be as good. They've lost John Brooks. They've lost some players. They're not going to be quite as good as they were last season. They'll probably finish. So I'm thinking Bayern's going to finish first, Dortmund second, Hoffenheim third. Then I want to say Leipzig, Mönchengladbach, Schalke, Bayer. No, actually, you know what? Schalke, Hamburg, Bayer. So I think Hamburg are a much better team this season than they've been for a couple of years, which I think is phenomenal. They look so much more coherent under their manager. That kind of brought them out from the depths last season, and they look really good. Hoffenheim, really good team. They did not show how good they are against Liverpool. That's fair enough. Liverpool's a really good squad. Hamburg, yeah. Hamburg's going to do decently well. I think Hoffenheim, having Nagelsmann again, and even though they've got rid of a couple of their big pieces, Sebastian Rudy, Nicolas Sula, they have something that a lot of teams don't have, and that's Andre Kramaric. Andre Kramaric is one of the most it players in the Bundesliga, for sure. Bundesliga, I would say, in the top 5 leagues. Andre Kramaric makes things happen. And the other piece of the puzzle that Hoffenheim have is Mark Uth. Mark Uth finishing incredible. To be able to start more. He's getting more opportunities to start, and he's taking advantage of it. Mark Uth, really, really good. Andre Kramaric, really, really good. And I love the new role that Kramaric is playing. For instance, in the last game against Bayer Leverkusen, Andre Kramaric played much more of a midfielder role, which suits his game really well. Then you have Wagner and Oates up top, which is really good. Demirbay out wide as a midfielder. Demirbay was really, really good when he came on. Demirbay started off the season very, very well. Amiri, when he comes on, really good. These are the pieces. Even Gnabry, when he gets a chance, Gnabry will be good. These are really amazing pieces that even Nordtveit has looked really good so far. Has transformed this Hoffenheim team from a team that was all about themselves to a team that's all about the team. Look at the runs that Kramaric makes, the runs that Wagner makes. They are all about the team. Uts, Gnabry, that was the problem against Liverpool. Gnabry was trying to do it all himself. Gnabry was trying to do it all himself, and that caused a lot of issues for Hoffenheim's entire team. You look at other players, and Nagelsmann's not afraid to make changes, which is an important quality in a manager. I think Hoffenheim will have to play another playoff round, but I think they'll make the Champions League again next season. I think Leipzig, having now been in the Champions League, will take a step back.